The literature taught me that decoloniality was the response to coloniality and the Eurocentric Western normative framework introduced in colonized societies by the European colonizer. The goal of decoloniality was to unshackle hitherto colonized societies from the totalizing universalisms of European colonialism and its current-day successor, Western imperialism, in order to restore agency and dignity to their consciousness. The more I read the literature on coloniality, the more I realized that there was a clear and inadvertent handshake between such literature and the works of Dr. Balagangadhara and Dr. D. Reuver on colonial consciousness. This told me that, at the very least, the framework merited serious consideration, whether or not it held all the answers to consciousness-related questions faced by contemporary Bharat. Also, the framework gave me the opportunity to call out the double standards that were being applied to decolonial movements in other decolonized societies on the one hand, and the Indic movement for cultural decolonization and reclamation of its civilizational identity on the other. While the former has received serious and positive attention, the latter has been branded illiberal, xenophobic, and lacking in historical basis. This hypocrisy needed to be called out. By the first week of May 2020, I began writing a Friday column, Indic Views, in the Daily Guardian on the interplay between civilization and the constitution approached through the lens of decoloniality. The column received positive feedback for its take on a new approach to constitutionalism. By early September 2020, after writing close to 18 pieces under the column, I knew I was ready to write a book on the convergence between coloniality, civilization, and the constitution, by no stretch of imagination as an expert, but as a genuine and committed learner. The hope was that it would start fresh, timely and nuanced conversations in and about Bharat on these issues. And so in the second week of October 2020, I started writing this book. This book is the first of the Bharat trilogy that explores the influence of European colonial consciousness, or coloniality, in particular its religious and racial roots, on Bharat as the successor state to the Indic civilization and the origins of the Indian constitution. It lays the foundation for its sequels by covering the period between the Age of Discovery, marked by Christopher Columbus's expedition in 1492, and the reshaping of Bharat through a British-made constitution, the Government of India Act of 1919. The book is split into 3 sections: coloniality, civilization, and constitution, with the third section as the ultimate object of my attention. The canvas is global in the first section and moves towards Bharat-centric analysis of coloniality and colonial consciousness in the second, and third with greater specificity. Given the abundance of standalone literature on the subjects of the first 2 sections, I have limited the scope of the discussion only to the extent it serves as the foundation for my examination of the Constitution for Coloniality or Colonial Consciousness in the third section of this book and its sequels. The first sequel, that is the second book of the trilogy, is coming out on 11th August, India, Bharat, Pakistan, which you should immediately pre-order.